Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this Ramadan haul. I'm here to share with you some of the items that I've picked up, primarily books, that I intend to use during Ramadan. Some of the things are for me specifically and other things can be used with children. And then I actually have some handwork projects that I want to share with you. And I have a really, hopefully, lovely way that you can incorporate it into Ramadan. And it's actually not my original idea. I want to share with you the idea of doing dhikr while you're doing handwork like sewing and stitching. Okay, but first actually let me show you this dua journal. Now I do have this green one here that was gifted to me, and I picked up another one as a gift. However, this one is a little bit different. So I am going to remove the plastic so that you can see it. And then I'm going to be gifting this one. But this is the one that I am using. And this one has a format where it has like some prompts on one side and then a blank page on the other side where you can write your dua. And while I've used this one sporadically over the years, I want to do this one every day during Ramadan. And that's why I'm sharing it with you now. You can see that every page has the same prompt on the one side, but you can tell that the verses on the bottom are different and on the top are different as well. And there may be some repeats, I'm not sure, but these two are different. So it kind of makes it nice to have like a reminder as you're creating your what you're grateful for and your dua. But I actually want to share with you this one because I do believe this one is different, and I regret having to open it because it is a gift, but I do want to share this one with you because I think, and I could be wrong, I do believe this one is different. I'm going to very carefully open it so I'm not ruining it before I give it away. But I do believe that the inside of this one is different, is why I want to share it with you. And and there were other colors too, so it's possible that each color has a different format on the inside. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this one again has the blank pages on one side, and then it has a verse and it has the tafsir on this side, which I think is brilliant. And then it has like a completely different format here. Oh, part 2 as well. Ooh, this is really, really nice. This is going to be hard to give away. And then again, you can see that there's some repeat format, but I do really like how there's different tafsir for each of these verses here. Wow, this is really, really, really nice. Ooh, this is a tough one. Like I can't tell which one, if I was just buying the one, which one I'd prefer more. But anyway, I urge you to check out the other dua journals because I'm thinking that each one probably is a little bit different. It has a different format. And the covers are gorgeous and it's gold embossed on the front. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, if you're looking for something else during Ramadan that's like daily and also interactive, then I encourage you to check out Ramadan Reflections. This is a guided journal and it's 30 days of healing from the past, journeying with presence and looking ahead to the akhirah focused future. And this is by Alia Rayyan. And what I like about this one is that it first of all, I love that it's set up for Ramadan for 30 days. Now, you could probably do this anytime, but I was gifted this book last Ramadan, and when it arrived, it was just a few days into Ramadan, maybe a week into Ramadan. So I decided to save it for this year. And so this time I will just work through it day by day. And what's great about it is that it has like the content that you could read, but then it has the part that you can interact with and that you can journal and add your own thoughts and reflections as part of the this guided journal. So I love that idea, and if you're looking for something that's going to take you through the month and kind of keep you on task, I think this will be a great addition. Okay, before I dive into the other books, I want to share with you the handwork that I picked up recently. And while I won't have a formal unboxing at the moment for the Tatriz kit, I will show you what's inside this one, which is called Hint of Tatriz. So this is a embroidery kit, and you can see the design on the front here. This is beginner level. Now I did see the quality of the materials of this one, like I did see like an opened sample, and it is very high quality, top notch, like beautiful. And excuse me, I've heard of women I apologize. I've heard of women doing handwork where with each stitch, they'll do dhikr, or they'll be reciting Quran, or just in any kind of remembrance, reciting the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They'll be doing something with each stitch, and it's such a beautiful way to bring about a spiritual aspect to handwork, because handwork is labor intensive, it's time consuming. And sometimes we think, well, why are we spending so much time on this kind of embroidery? There's actually a very rich history behind embroidery, but we've come to not value those kinds of art, that kind of artwork and expression, because it takes so much time. And when you can buy something that's like machine stitched or machine embroidered, it seems like a better value of your time. But when you are pausing and slowing down and remembering Allah with each stitch, I find it to be like the best of both worlds. So if you, this one is gorgeous. And even though it's beginner level, if you need something that's even more simple, then the Tatriz kit by Hint of Tatriz is a really great choice. So this one comes with the embroidery floss, the embroidery hoop, the fabric, the needle, and then even a carrying case. And of course it comes with the types of stitches you're going to do. Like I bought the sampler one for, there are many different kits for both of these companies. They had multiple kits and different designs. And I liked this one because it kind of gave you just a basic view of the different types of stitches or the different types of motifs that you might find on these Palestinian embroidered garments. So I cannot wait to do this, and I'll be doing this with my 13-year-old daughter, so this is just right for her age. And speaking to both of these companies, they said that children as young as maybe 9 or 10 could be doing this, especially with this one, maybe even 8 or 9 years old, and this one maybe 9 or 10 and definitely into adulthood. Okay, let's move on to all of the books, because this is quite fun for me. Okay, so some of these are interactive books, ones you're going to be working with, and other of these books are picture books for children. So I'm going to start off with the Quran notebook, and I have probably half of the whole set. Now, each of these notebooks are 3 juz, so the entire set is 10 of these notebooks. What's amazing about this, what I love so much, is that you have the Quran on one side, you have the translation on the opposing page, and then you have this nice large area here to write your notes, your reflections, your tafsir. And what I especially like about this, and my daughter actually took her book immediately, she has 2, and she loves it because the print is so large and it's really easy for her to read. I think it's probably some of the largest print we have for our Qur'ans that we use regularly, unless you want like the really massive Qur'an that has like a larger print. This is really easy to read because the print is so large and the script is very nice. So I especially like that part of it. And then of course the blank pages, they have the dotted lines, like bullet journaling lines. So it's still kind of, you can get creative with how you do your note taking. It's not just lines and it's not just blank. So I like that too. And what's great is that you also have the translation as well. And so you can use this in a number of ways. There are a lot of examples online. Of course, you can find links to all of the materials that I'm sharing with you today on the blog post that accompanies this video, and down in the description box below, you can find all of that information. Okay, so I have the one for the 30th juz, as well as the 2 that I'm going to be working on specifically during this month. I'm focusing on Surah Kahf, and that is that's partly in juz 15, partly in juz 16, and so I have that one as well. I'm going to be doing my Quran journaling as well, like in a large blank notebook, but I wanted to share this with you in case this is an easier way for you to do your Quran reflection by having something that's already mostly done, and then you can write your notes on one side. I'm using blank pages where I'm going to be writing the Arabic, the word for word, the translation, some illustrations, and some tafsir or some of my own reflections. But I think this is like a kind of like a way better option than the way that I'm doing it, so that you you can just get down into like the actual reflection part. You can definitely write the word for word above the words in here if you wished to do that as well. All right, so then again, so I have them for some of the other books. So there are 10 in total. Okay, I have another Quran journal. This one I thought was the same in the sense that it would cover the entire Quran, but actually it doesn't. And it's different because it's mostly blank. And here you can write your Arabic ayah, then you can write the translation. You have a spot here to write the tafsir. You have a spot here to write your application and a dua at the bottom. And what's really neat about this one is that it is divided into themes. So you can see at the beginning here, it has like forgiveness, dhikr, parables, shirk. And then when you go to that different section, there, like this is the names of Allah, and it'll have a surah and an ayah number. And then here it's like a different surah, different ayah number. Then you'll go through all of these different themes, and there'll be different ayahs to reflect upon, to write about, and to learn the tafsir for. So I really like this one. I thought I was just going to be sharing with you an alternative to the Quran journal, but this can be accompanying the Quran journal because the focus is a little bit different in my opinion. Okay, on to the picture book, some of my favorite. So these are not Ramadan books in particular. For us and our family, we tend to do the Seerah during Ramadan, and we, in the past, we used to do the Seerah once a year throughout the year in our homeschool, reading from texts that were adult level, so college, high school, adult level, and I would be reading it to all of my children, regardless of how old they were. It was just like a family aspect to our homeschool. And then over the years, after we had done this a few times, we fell out of that habit and instead just did the Seerah during Ramadan using a children's or a middle school book that covered the entire Seerah in a where we could get it done in an entire month. So I have what so this is still wrapped up. We haven't used this one yet. So let's open it together. And this might be a suitable alternative if you are looking for, and if you would like to try doing the same thing by reading the Seerah just during the month of Ramadan. This might be a good source. And I think this is, I hope that this covers the entire Seerah. I'm going to try to open this like really carefully because I don't want to ruin the pages. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's take a look at this together. I'm really excited about this. Okay. Oh, very nice. Okay, so this is a really nice approach. So this is not like a chronological Seerah. This is more extracting certain stories, and they have some illustrations. So this could be anywhere from like middle school to, or from elementary school up to middle school. Oh, this is a really nice format. So I haven't read through this one yet, but it seems like it's definitely doable to do this during the month of Ramadan. But I also have other Seerah books that I would recommend if you're looking to do something just during the month. And also, if your children are really young, they still may be able to listen to content that's a little bit older than their grade level or age level, so that you can meet the needs of like more of your children. If you've got really young children and middle, elementary, and even older children, there are some texts that are great for those ages. And if they're very young, there are other books that are almost like bedtime stories of the Seerah that's a really good option as well. Okay, so let's look at some of the other books that I have, all about Prophet Musa. This one I picked up specifically to accompany our grade 3 Waldorf curriculum, because in the grade 3 curriculum, the stories of Moses are shared. And so we would just do, Musa, we would take it from our sources, but those are actually shared in the curriculum at that age anyway. And so I picked this one up to accompany those lessons. We haven't used it, and I won't be using it in the near future for our homeschool because my youngest is beyond that age, but I wanted to share it in case this was something that could coordinate with your lessons. And if not, and you choose to do this just during the month of Ramadan, then it's a great opportunity to include this with the other previous prophets and include them. If you want to do it like a theme, for instance, then this might work really well with some of the other stories. Okay, the next book I have is Hamza Attends a Janaza. And what I love about this book, aside from some of the illustrations really captured me, I just want to show you my favorite one. This is my favorite illustration in the book. But what I really love about this book, and I did read it to my daughter, she is 13, since we are beyond the age of picture books as the core part of our homeschool, I did get this with the intention of gifting it, but I did want to read it and share it with you first. But what I really love about this book and other books that address these kinds of topics is that I don't remember them being so prevalent or even available at all when my children were younger. And so the fact that you have these stories now is so important because pretty much every person is going to lose someone in their life or have to attend a janaza, and you may have children or you may have been a child when this happened. And I love the gentle way that this book approaches a very heavy grief-stricken, sad topic, and still yet has a way to bring some aspect of hope and joy to just this very heavy life circumstance. So if you have had to deal with this with young children, then I highly recommend getting this book. And I like the illustrations for the most part. I think it's just really nicely done because the illustrations really kind of fit the mood as well, just the colors and the way that it's been illustrated. So really liked that one a lot. Okay, before I get to this one, I want to share with you two more picture books that are probably for preschool, elementary, young elementary ages. This one's called Colors of Al-Quds. And I really like this one because the colors are phenomenal. And I'm not as crazy about the illustrations for like the face of the main character, but I love the idea of sharing a story based on the colors. And I think that they've done just an amazing job bringing that feeling through the images as you're going through all of these different colors. So it's a very charming, heartwarming book that it's just a delight to read. So this would be, because the content is pretty basic, so it would be for like young elementary versus some other picture books that can span all the way up until junior high, just because the content is quite informative or it's historical. Extraordinary Places We Pray. I really loved this book because I think that talking about different places that you can pray is it's a conversation starter when you ask like, where are some of the most unusual places you've prayed? Because we know that the whole earth is a place of prayer, and that hadith is mentioned at the very beginning of the book. And then most of the illustrations I also really like. I'm a little bit on the picky side for some illustrations, so I picked up books that I generally like the illustrations for, sometimes even if the content isn't exactly what I want. If the illustrations are gorgeous, then I'm going to be happy about it. So this one just shows all these different places in the world that you can pray, and it's just really, it's a heartwarming, beautiful way to talk about prayer and where you can pray. And if you ever prayed out in public, sometimes there's that worry of, where am I going to find a place, and are people going to watch me? Is someone going to talk to me? Is people going to stare? What are they going to think? And so I like the idea of having a whole book about all these different places that you can pray. And they're not all about praying outside. One is praying in a submarine. One is praying, in an airplane. And so I really like this one. Okay, the last book I have to share with you is called One Wish. This is a story about the first university and the woman behind it. And I loved this book, not just for the content, which I have to preface that I haven't actually read this book yet. We've only just received it. but I liked the book because of how beautifully done it is. I'm really into the types of illustrations, even down to the type of paper. I like the paper that's a little bit more rough. I don't like the smooth paper, the really glossy paper. And these are totally not important when it comes to choosing a picture book, but they are some of the things. There are so many choices out there, and these are some of the things that sort of help me gravitate towards certain books over the others. So this is a really important historical story, and this is why I think this kind of picture book is great for older children all the way up until middle school. It's great, you can read this to your young child, but I think older children will get a lot of value from a book like this because of the history behind it. And that's what I love about picture books, is how informative they can be. So if you were considering getting this, but your children are a little bit older, then I would encourage you to go ahead and get it. And even for yourself, I have learned so much from picture books that are intended for children, because they break down either it's a scientific concept they break down, or it's a history that they can consolidate and make it a lot easier for you as an adult to learn about that historical time period, or learn about that scientific discovery in plain English and with beautiful illustrations. Okay, so I hope that you choose some of these things for your own family this Ramadan. I hope it is a blessed time for you and your family. Don't forget that you can check out the blog post that accompanies this video. It's going to have links to all of these different resources. And if you'd like to see how we're using these resources on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Pepper and Pine.